Welcome back, everybody. We're talking with Congresswoman Carol Shea-Porter today, and we were just talking during the break here, and just continuing on this criticism theme. You got a lot of heat for this guy that got thrown out of one of your health care forums. Do you feel like the right thing was done here? Did this guy need to be taken out of the meeting?
Well, first of all, let me say that he was interrupting everybody all the way through. He wasn't simply interrupting me, he was interrupting everybody. And I had nothing to do with the decision to remove him. That security is in the hands of the people who have the building, the Federal Protective Service. So, you know, it's not my call. It just wasn't my call at all. But I will say that I believe that when you're in a town hall meeting or you're in a public place, you should not be shouting over people and jumping up. I mean, there is a kind of behavior that I think we all have a right to expect. And obviously he crossed the line there. So it was sad to hear him screaming and shouting and being disruptive, but I didn't have anything to do with the decision, although I certainly do support that decision to have him removed.
Now, you're on the ground in Washington now. When President Obama took office, one of his big things was to work in a bipartisanship way and work with both sides of the aisle. Do you feel like that spirit is still there? It seems over the summer things have become very divisive. Do you feel like the spirit in Washington that you can work together down there?
Well, it has become very difficult because, well, look, we've spent a good amount of this time just talking about all the things that they're saying, you know, the kinds of criticisms that aren't true, aren't warranted, and make it difficult for people to hear through the partisan din there. But it is our responsibility to find a way to work these problems out. And I think that we have to do that. The American people expect us to do that, to find the common ground. You know, I'm not a member of any of these caucuses except for the People's Caucus, the Populist Caucus. I'm not in the Progressive Caucus, I'm not in the Blue Dog Caucus, I'm not in any of those caucuses. What I'm trying to do is, and I'm in the Middle Class Caucus, I'm just trying to find the way through so that we can talk to each other and get some policies that help Americans.
Now, President Obama will address Congress this week about health care, kind of a big push to get this thing through. What do you expect to come out of this, and do you think anything could change your mind at this point in the game?
Well, as I said before, I am standing for the public option because I think it does provide the cost and the competition that we need. We have to have real competition and choice. Right now, we don't have choice in health care. The reality is that you have choice in every other aspect of your life, but health care is not a choice. You are left behind if you have a pre-existing condition. You're left behind if you can't afford the premium, if your employer can't afford it or decides to drop you. So what I hope to see is something that accommodates all of the people that have been left behind there and that drives down cost. And I will do my part. You know, I was on one of the committees that worked on this bill, and clearly we'll have to compromise in some areas, but I think if we take out the public option, we will remove the impetus for choice and competition.
This issue is so huge. Do you feel like at all that it takes your eye off the prize on other issues at all? I mean, you're dealing strictly with health care. I mean, you got a lot of things going on, Iraq, Afghanistan, the economy.
Well, it requires 7 days work every single day, and, you know, I think we're up for that. I've heard people talk about the size of that bill. You know, it's a 1,000-page bill for health care. And yes, we are working very hard. We know the bill, but we also have other issues on the table. Afghanistan is huge right now. We know the situation's deteriorating. I sit on the Armed Services Committee, and I went to Afghanistan in May. I have a lot of concerns about what's happening there. We also have an energy bill that we haven't finished. You know, we're still working on that. And we have difficulties in education, we have difficulties in the job market. We have seen some encouraging numbers, but there's still a lot of economic troubles there, and the middle class is still suffering. So we have to keep working all of them simultaneously.
I'm glad you brought that up. When you were in Afghanistan, did you get a sense at all that we could be out of there anytime soon, or does it look like this is going to be, we're in for the long haul, especially in Afghanistan now, it seems like?
Well, we went to the White House afterwards and had a meeting and discussed what we had seen, the members of Congress there. And what I keep telling people is that this is really like nation building, and that Afghanistan is in such poor shape that it makes Iraq look like Manhattan. And the problems are so enormous. You see the American troops there. They are the best, no question about it. But this mission, we need to look at this again. I just don't see what we're accomplishing there. We have so many problems that Americans want to work on, and so many issues that we need to take care of. We need to tighten our borders. We need a lot of work to be done right here in this country. And I don't want to see Afghanistan wind up after 8 years, and now they're talking maybe another 10 years, wind up like another Vietnam, where we sink our treasure, we sink, you know, our people, and ultimately we don't get what we thought we would out of it. So.
You head back to Washington on Tuesday, correct?
On Tuesday, yes.
All right,
We'll be facing all those issues.
Congresswoman Carol Shea-Porter, I want to thank you for coming in today.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
That wraps up Close Up. Enjoy your Sunday, everybody.